All right. How's everybody doing today? Welcome back. We're doing something pretty cool today. You've seen the title. We're gonna do the 4 and 2 pot piston caliper. Let's see if you can see this. There's one of them. There's half of it. We're doing a little brake upgrade for the Subaru, and we got some 4 pots. You can kind of see right here. There's the front. That one's still assembled, but we're going to be taking them all apart. So you can see we got pistons, caliper pistons. We got a new set of seals and rings. This is for the brake pads, and we've got a whole bunch of other stuff. We've got some lube. We got this. We got that, and we're just getting into it. It's something I've wanted to do for a while. So I got a really good deal on them, and we're just gonna give it a shot. I've already taken them apart. You can kind of see. Well, you can see. Here we go. This is how they go together. So they've got screws. 4 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. You screw those. Take them out. You'll break these in half. Inside. See, I'll show you how this breaks down. Get a square cut gasket first. It fits right in there. We'll put that in. You get your piston, they're inside the caliper. Then you get your dust boot, your seal. So each little piston has your piston, square cut gasket, dust seal, and a little retainer clip to hold it all together. And we're just getting after it. I'm stoked. Let me get some gloves. And another thing, you can tell, these are the JDM versions. So they came from a Japanese domestic market. WRX Impreza, I believe from 99 really to like 2006 maybe. I think these are from about 2000. And they're in decent shape. You know, they're not too bad. What I'm not gonna do right now is powder coat these or paint them. I'm just gonna put these, rebuild them, and get them on the car and use them, and maybe down the line I'll do some Caliper paint or something. We'll see how long they'll last in the winter months here, but right now I want to get them back reassembled and put them back on the car. So let's see how we do this. So we're going to start with this half. All right, this is one full caliper that's separated. It's got, the reason why they call it a 2 and 4 pot or a 4 and 2 pot, because the back caliper has 2 pistons. That'll be the 2 pot. And the front over here, you can see, has 1, 2, 3, 4 pistons. So we got the lube, comes with the set. I got an OEM reseal kit. These are the original pistons, and they actually are in pretty decent state. There's no scoring. If you have scoring or any ruts or damage to them, just change them. But mine are looking pretty good, so we're gonna go ahead and use them. So first, and you can see I've already cleaned all this up. I went inside here and it was all nice and clean and ready to go for the new. Make sure there's no dirt. Maybe just give it one last wipe down. One last wipe down before we put the new pistons in. But I went through this entirely and cleaned it up really good. So we're gonna take the straight cut gasket, and we're gonna take a little bit of lube. And you don't need much, just enough to want to make it nice, and I don't want any dry spots, that's all. But it doesn't have to be over lubed. Right? And you can see inside there is a little recess for this one to fit. So let's see if we can get that one in there. I think these aren't super hard or difficult, but once I get it in, I'll kind of show you. There we go. Alright, you can see right in there. Should be able to see that black ring, that's the gasket. Okay, so that's that one. It goes in pretty simple. I'm gonna hit it just, I'm gonna give it a little bit of extra lube on it. So we got the straight cut in. Now we're gonna take the caliper piston, and on that again, make sure it's all lubed up. And you don't, just the outside edges and that. Okay, that looks pretty good. Okay, I'm gonna slide that in. Slide it in there. Make sure it press down nice and gentle so it goes even. That's most important. Alright, so you can see we get that piston in there. Okay, now we're going to take the dust boot, same thing. Get some, here's the, okay, I think that's pretty good. You can see this little indent right there. That's where this little ring clip is going to go. That has to go down. So you want to get that over the piston. I'll show you. There's like a little lip. If you get a little piece on, then kind of push it around with your thumb, it should clip on. Now we're on. You can see here's that's the caliper, and this is the rubber boot. You can see that the rubber boot is right up against it. It's sitting in there perfect all the way around, and then on this end, it's sitting on in the little recess of the piston. So that's where that upper boot is sitting, and on the boot you can kind of see there is a little piece, a little formed of that inner edge that sits right on that caliper. And you can see as it goes around right here, it's the same distance all the way around. You can see where my pointer is right here, this distance right here, right there, it's the same all the way around. You'll know, that's when you'll know that that is seated perfect. Take your little clip, and if you can see how I did that, that's how they kind of tighten. I just put them together like that. It holds it open just enough to get down there and around, and there you go. That's it. You can kind of see it sits right there. It's all nice and perfect, all the same level. That half is done. So let's just move on and bang these out. Square cut gasket again. This is for the inner portion of the cylinder wall where the caliper piston goes in. Okay, and again, let me use the pointer right there. You can see there's a recess right in there. It's where the square cut. You can see how it's square cut. That square cut goes right in there. And once you get a little piece in and push it around with your thumb, it should kind of form into place. Just kind of push it a little bit. A little bit gentle, but you're not going to damage it. There you go, and then it should just go right into place. And I'm just going to kind of like put another little piece on it when I put it in there. You know, a little bit more grease just on that outer edge. There's that. Now we're gonna right piston. Okay. Again, just make sure that all the surfaces just have enough grease on there so it slides nice. I'm just gonna give this thing a, okay, I think it's nice and clean. Take that caliper, the piston, again, push it down straight, nice and even. It's gonna be resistant at first until it gets past that gasket, and then it should go down. There we go, and kind of keep it up a little bit so you have room to put on the dust boot. You don't want to push a reset it all the way into the caliper. You can kind of see. I've left some room. I've left some room here. This is where the top of the boot is going to seat right in here, and then the bottom seats right on in that little recess right there. So we got some of this. Simple grease. And you can see there's an inside to it. I like to try and get every piece of it. Stick your finger in that little hole. There you go. that little recess if you can get a little something in there. Okay, that looks pretty good. Again, you can see this is where the clip is going to go, that little piece right there, so that goes down towards the caliper, right? So that's going to go, stretch it over the top of the piston. If you can hold that upper piece, you can kind of push it with one motion over that little, where it's going to clip onto. I didn't do it there, but sometimes it works. Just kind of get it started on that little lip and push your finger around. So there we go, that popped out good. And actually when you do that, it almost falls in place perfect. Again, here's the distance right here on that piston. You can follow it around, it's all the same. And then we have the little recess area for the locking pin, and it's all right. And I'm gonna hit that with a little bit more grease for no other reason. I mean, just it's gonna get all dirty anyways. There we go. And we got another piston, another clip. Again, we'll put it up so you can kind of see like that. We'll put it up like that. And I like to start at this end and work my way up. It seems to work a little bit, yeah, right into place. Here we go. Again, you can always check because it should always be the same dimension. You shouldn't, like right here along this piston, you can see it's the same dimension right there. It doesn't waver. Around here, it's tight against the caliper. All tight against the caliper. If you see anything that looks odd and it's not sitting right, you gotta make it sit right or find out why it's not doing that. All right. We got this caliper. I'm just gonna put this one back together, I think. Where we got the screws right here. We got some of this. I'm just gonna screw this back in. All right, and here's what I do with screws. Bolts. I usually make a quick diagram. I say what side these are on. I put the bleeder right there so I can know where the screws are, so they go back in the right spot. So here's the other side. Quick thing, and then I always put the bolts. I don't know. I feel like they always reassemble better when I do that sort of thing. Okay, I'm gonna push these pistons down just a little bit more because it's gonna help us when we go and put the pads on. So I'm gonna bring that down a little bit more and a little bit more. Okay. Let's see, we got these. We're gonna reassemble. Driver's side rear. So that's this one right here. 1, 2. I always use a little something on all bolts. This is anti-corrosion, anti-seize. You're gonna use something on all your bolts, especially in New England, but in general, you should get in the habit of using something on all your bolts. It's gonna save you a lot of headaches. So let's just assemble these. Are pretty simple. So there's 2 halves. There is a little gaskets on these right here. Kind of see this gasket and this gasket, which put a little bit of something on. Okay, there's 2 gaskets, and those ones don't come with the kit. There's this one and this one. So I'm actually just reusing them, and we'll see if that comes back to bite me. But if they leak or not, I think we're gonna be good. This one here. We'll tighten these down. I'm just gonna kind of get them in there, but let's rebuild the other ones, get them to this point, and then we'll come back and tighten them. Okay, was one down. Yeah, see, pretty simple. So we got the other one. Let's try and rip through this one a little bit quicker. Grease the square cut fit gaskets first. Square cuts go in the barrel of the caliper piston in that little recess. Make sure it sits nice and flat too. When it gets in there, you can see that. Make sure that's sitting nice and flush and perfect. You don't want any problems there. Okay. And like I said, I'm just gonna put a dab around the ring. We got the piston. Okay, grease up the piston. Careful, put it back in. Let's see. There we go. Really, actually, that's probably the better way to push it right there. Nice even pressure, nice and gentle when you put those things back in. More lube, again, every time, lubing up everything. The lube comes with the rebuild kit. This is an OEM Subaru rebuild kit. Double check every time that you got that this is all seated perfect. Double check. Oh, that looks perfect. Get the ring clip. The US 4 and 2 pots are red. They're on the WRXs. I'm not sure what years. Probably. The black JDM, the black version, are a little bit older. These are only on the Japanese version Imprezas. The black ones didn't come to America. So everything online is noted for the red calipers. So that one's done. That one looks perfect. You can kind of see again. Always check. It looks perfect. And this one. So everything I saw was for the red American version, 4 and 2 pots, the red. I got brackets to make the rear calipers fit from Carboy. Those say they fit the red. Nothing specifically calls out the black JDM calipers, which to me, they look almost exactly, if not are exactly the same as the American red versions. Actually, even the pads, I don't have the red ones to match, but I'm using the same pads, and the pads from the reds, the 06, 07 WRX TRs. Those are the pads we're using from that particular car, and they work, they fit. So yeah, now we'll have a tutorial out in the internet world on the JDM black ones. And I just didn't see any in there. Everything's about the red. Everyone likes the red calipers. Okay, so we got both. So that's the square cut is in this one. What's next is the piston. So yeah, we're gonna know. And if you have to find information on that, that's another thing. Finding it, because the black ones didn't come here and everybody wants the reds. Finding specific information online to make sure you can order the right pads and all that stuff is difficult too. So I had to really search and look, and I'm just assuming they look almost the same. And I also wanted to do this because this is something I've never done, and I've never rebuilt a caliper like this. Okay, just make sure it's seated. Again, I'm checking the dimension right here, right there, making sure it's the same all the way around, and then I check and make sure that's seated. That looks good. So this tutorial, I don't think there's many other ones for the black JDM calipers, but we are going to find out today that they do work, I hope. So here's again my bolts. Some old timer told me to do that with the cardboard. Just keeps track of, I don't need any more of that. It keeps track of everything very well. And then you can put the same bolts back in the same holes, and the threads and all that stuff are already matched. They've already been screwed into each other. You don't have any problems. Okay, I'm gonna push these down a little bit to help with the pad install. So I'm not really doing it on the car. Shows down, and then oh, look at that. That one is not really seated right. There we go. Then you can double check too. Make sure it works right how it's supposed to. That goes down, right, and it's perfect. Is that right, seated right? Yeah, okay. So now let's get these halves back together. This is going real quick. Let's see if I can get that one done. Let me get the bolt screw out here. We'll tighten that up, but yes. Okay, that's 2 done. All right. So I might have lost a little video while I was recording that earlier. My battery died, so classic. But we're gonna stop here for today, and I'm gonna jump right back on this in the morning and get all these calipers installed in the car. But we do have the rear calipers looking oh so good with them new seals, pistons greased. So we got both rears done. Yeah, it looks cool. We're gonna have to wait till tomorrow. It's getting dark, as you can see, and again, with that last piston being a little bit of a pain, it's just gonna have to wait till tomorrow. So all right, that's it for today. We'll see you tomorrow.